Alright, what's up, kids? Today we're going to talk about modern agriculture, the third and most recent agricultural revolution, also known as the Green Revolution, because plants are green, usually. And the big thing about the third agricultural revolution, and let me remind you guys, the first agricultural revolution was just figuring out farming in general. The second agricultural revolution was using machines to help humans farm. And now the third agricultural revolution is using science, especially using genetically modified organisms, abbreviated GMO, to make wonder crops. Like, holy cow, kids. I think it was the 1960s or 1970s. This is when the third agricultural revolution really got started. They created this new version of rice that just like tripled rice production all around the world. And all the major crops, including even not major crops, they'll GMO everything. They'll genetically modify corn, soybeans, wheat, and these crops become bigger, faster, stronger. They resist bugs, they resist diseases that would usually take out plants. So they're just Frankenstein super duper plants that we grow in our agriculture today. We use to feed people. So let's keep talking about GMO supercrops, the Green Revolution. All right, everybody cool with this? Let's bounce on around. Oh, I gotta click those buttons. All right, so yep, that's the DNA being altered of your favorite foods so they grow better and more efficiently. And here's a scientist who's, I guess, a farmer now because they're editing the genetics of your food. And then, yep, all this stuff, biotechnology, pretty great. And then, yeah, there they are, slicing the genetics out of a little leaf. And then rainbow corn. I don't know if I would want to eat this, but the concept is cool. And then, yep, good seeds. Uncle Sam approved. America loves the Green Revolution. And which one would you choose? So here's the regular corn seeds, and here's GMO super corn seeds. And when they plant these seeds, they probably grow into like regular corn, but it's giant, massive mega corn. All right, and then according to the GMO Project, which of the majority crops in the United States are GMO? Canola, 90% GMO, corn, 88%, cotton, soy, all this stuff. A lot of GMO stuff in the United States. And canola, this is primarily used as fry, or what is it? Okay, when you fry food, oil, yes, the oil used to fry food. Corn is in friggin' everything in the United States. Corn is surprisingly one of the biggest ingredients in our soft drinks, and cotton is used to make our clothes. So much GMO, genetically modified. All right, so yeah, a GMO is a human manipulation of an organism's DNA. It's true that we have combined fish DNA with strawberries and tomatoes that make fish glow red. Like, we've done some pretty crazy stuff with genetic modifications. But this stuff is very new in our world today. There really isn't a lot of long-term testing. And sometimes they like test it on rats, and the rats don't really like the food, but we, still give it to people anyway. And if you're just a standard American eating food you find in grocery stores and you're not really looking out otherwise, you eat GMO food every single day. It's just all over the United States, okay? Pretty big deal in this country. All right, seeds of deception. So yeah, this is a concept we'll definitely have to talk about in this class. Is the third agricultural revolution, are GMO foods a good idea? Because there's a lot of people that don't really like this this new age of food production, and they're afraid that there could be some negative effects that come down the line by eating all these genetically modified superfoods. I mean, here in the United States, whole lot of obesity. All right, I'm definitely a victim, and the vast majority of my life I've drinking sugary drinks and eaten unhealthy food. And the GMO foods generally don't make the foods more healthy. They make them bigger and more sugar rich, and they make them taste better, which usually doesn't equate to you having a better physical physique. So that's definitely something we will dive into in this class. All right, so let's talk about hybrid crops. So sometimes you can get hybrid crops naturally in the wild if you just plant a strawberry bush next to a boysenberry bush. The berries could sort of combine and create this like half-breed, cool super food. But what we found also in the GMO world is now they can just genetically combine plants together as well and create new plants. Usually in class during this time, I would actually have a couple of these hybrid foods for kids to try. But they're always really kind of cool because they're just creating new foods by combining other ones. So if anyone's ever been to Knott's Berry Farm in Los Angeles, that theme park, a big thing they have there are called huckleberries. They have like huckleberry pie and huckleberry shakes. Huckleberries, I think they're a combination of blackberries and blueberries. But there's all kinds of plants that can be hybrided together. I know at Costco they always have apple pears. Those are pretty cool. There's limequats, which are limes and kumquats, tangelos, tangerines, and pomelos. There's so many more. I usually find a lot of really interesting examples when I shop around town for this class. But anyway, that's what hybrid crops are. You're just combining two plants together. Pretty cool. All right, combining it up, making new wonderful foods to eat. Always a good time. Everything's delicious. Let's do it. The Green Revolution. I already mentioned this, but I'm just bringing it up again because this is really a primary part of this class. Rice is the staple food for almost half the people on planet Earth, provides 2/3 of all their calories. And I don't know if I said this in the culture unit, but in Korean, the Korean language, the word rice is bop, and the word food is bop. So, literally, the word rice and food are the same word. It really just shows you how important rice is in Asia. So the Green Revolution in the 1960s, it absolutely improved the ability of rice to be grown in Asia by just a factor of 3. And it just made huge growth there because for many parts of history, like if there was a bad rice harvest in Asia, like thousands, maybe millions of people would starve to death. But because of GMO stuff, that's generally never going to be a problem again. So, I think that's a positive thing about the Green Revolution. So, thumbs up to GMOs. But now let's talk about pesticides. So, pesticides, they are poisons. They are chemical substances that are designed to kill insects. And typically what happens is, these are modern day farmers here in our Green Revolution. Here they are spraying poison all over these crops that they're growing. And the intention is that those poisons will kill all these little bugs and worms and stuff that try to eat the food. The concern is that if you spray all the crops and then the crops grow, then you feed it to a human and the human just takes a bite out of that apple, will they get some of those poisonous effects too? And there was a very famous example of this, something called Agent Orange, another one called DDT. And Agent Orange, we found, is really good at killing bugs, but it's also really good at killing human beings. So during the Vietnam War, we actually sent our bombers and we just spray carpet bombed all these North Vietnamese rice fields with Agent Orange, and we ended up killing a lot of people in their population because of that. So it's super messed up. And you're probably wondering, like, Mr. Brown, how do they know if these pesticides don't damage the crops? A lot of these GMO crops have been genetically designed to go hand in hand with certain pesticides. So they're all sort of working together. It still is a struggle today because they're trying to find ways to only kill the bad bugs and not kill the plants or the good bugs. Eventually, we'll get into it later in this class, but bees all over the United States are dying, and bees are good bugs, okay? Bees got to pollinate a lot of our plants, but I think we're finding out that a lot of these pesticides, yes, they're killing the worms, but they're also killing the bees. So it's pretty tough stuff. All right, so there they are just spraying the crops down. Here they are spraying a whole field with pesticides. Warning, pesticides. Fire will cause toxic fumes. Yeah, and a lot of these pesticides, when a farmer has to wear a hazmat suit as they spray this stuff, it's not a good visual. Okay, and then, yep, there they are eating away. I mean, you definitely don't want your bugs to eat all the food, but what, you're going to massacre the bugs? And yeah, a lot of this stuff is not good for humans to inhale, for sure. Okay, pesticides through pictures. Let's see what we got here. So, do you eat with the mask on? Well, hey, during 2020, everybody has a mask on. But yeah, it's not very nice for the animal friends. Okay, and then yeah, this is a baby born without limbs. If I recall, this picture is a kid who mother got exposed to some pesticide chemicals while she was pregnant and messed with a baby. Screwed up. Okay, be careful. America's Farm, sponsored by Monsanto. Monsanto is this company that's sort of well known for being involved in GMOs and pesticides, and they actually developed some nerve gas agents and tear gas, and they literally do chemical weapons and agriculture. So that's just an interesting thing to have on your company's portfolio. Okay, Coke and Pepsi are used as pesticides in India because they're cheaper and more effective. That's crazy. So they just, get some bottles of Coke and just put them over their plants, and it'll kill the bugs. That's wild to me. 100% pesticide free, safe for kids, pets, and other living things. Okay, see, some people are really into this. They don't want to put poison all over their gardens. And then chemicals in your shopping. So almost all the oranges have pesticide residue on the outside, but that's kind of a good thing because you usually won't bite into the skin of an orange. But pears, grapes, yeah, see, so quite a few of these crops will have pesticides on them. So I think it's definitely in the interest of your health whenever you buy fruits and vegetables from the supermarket or from any market at all, wash them before you eat them. It's just one more layer of defense to make sure you don't put any of these pesticide chemicals inside of your body, which could have some negative effects. All right, see, yeah, so wash your fruits and vegetables, kids, because there's some unseen grossness on the outside of them. And then if it's not safe to breathe, is it safe to eat? That's a very good question. And yeah, this guy's skin problems caused by pesticide exposure. Super duper messed up. Okay, so the top 4 crops are canola, corn, cotton, and soybeans. I think we saw that in a picture earlier. And a lot of these crops are sold as resistant to Roundup. And funny thing is Roundup, I think it was found out last year, officially causes cancer. And the company that made Roundup, pretty sure it was Monsanto, they were sued for a whole bunch of money and they settled lawsuits and all this stuff. So, yeah, for the vast majority of your young life, if you ever ate corn on the cob and you didn't wash it, you were probably exposed to a small amount of a cancerous material. It's kind of scary. So, wash your fruits and vegetables, kids. Yeah, and this is really just where so much of the debate of the Green Revolution comes. A lot of people are scared of these untested qualities of GMOs and pesticides. They could have long-term bad effects on human health. I mean, Roundup causes cancer. It's a pretty bad effect. So a lot of people are fighting back against the Green Revolution, and they say we refuse to have any of these pesticide plants or any of these GMO plants. So we want to go organic. We want to go traditional food that has none of this fancy scientific alterations done to it. So yeah, and then I officially write down here, the company that owns the most GMO seeds is called Monsanto. I'm going to deep dive into some Monsanto stuff in a later lecture. So yeah, know that that's coming. All right, so organic is the opposite of GMO. They do not want any of this scientific participation in our food production. All right, everybody cool? Let's move on. So here's a person doing some farming. Pretty good thing to do. No GMOs. We want to be organic. And then, but here's the reality, kids. So here's GMO chicken, and it's $8. Here's organic chicken, same package, and it's $30, or sorry, $28. So you're paying 3 times as much money to have the traditional chicken, or you could blow $8 and get the scientific pesticide super chicken. I mean, usually most Americans are going to go with the cheaper option. But people could have all kinds of arguments about organic, and we'll jump in all those later. All right, so price checks. So yeah, let's also see more of these prices. So the organic item is $3. The GMO item is $2. And this is what's almost always going to be the case. GMO will be cheaper. Organic will be more expensive. The organic, or sorry, the GMO thing will sort of be heavier and have more weight to it. And then yeah, let's look at what's the best deal with. Well, actually, it looks like organic coffee and GMO coffee cost the exact same. That's interesting. Well, actually, here the GMO one, the non-organic one, is $1 cheaper. Bananas cost like half the price if you get them GMO. That's cool. Milk's $1 cheaper, so you will generally spend less money if you go GMO. There you go. Okay, so yeah, here's just me summarizing the argument again, and I'm going to deep dive into this in the next lesson. Organic is more expensive, tends to be smaller, tends to have more bruising and black spots. The idea, though, is you're supporting local farmers, because traditionally organic farmers tend to be like mom and pop establishments, and you're kind of not paying a big company like Monsanto. But if you get organic food, there may be serious contamination by bugs and pests. So, you're definitely gonna have some of the negative effects of earlier agriculture. But GMOs, on the other hand, they are larger, cheaper. They may contain pesticide chemicals on the outside skin, so make sure you give them a good wash. You're supporting these big, giant corporations that are just soulless entities, and the untested qualities and long-term ramifications of genetic modification. And I've seen a lot of stuff online, kids, that people say, and this is totally no factual claim to it, it's just a rumor, that autism is caused by some part of GMO contamination of either the mother when the kid was being born or the kid when he was an infant. But there is no scientific proof to that claim. Yet a lot of people, they continually try to have these conspiracy theories that if you eat GMO food, bad things will occur to you. And well, I mean, in the case of stuff sprayed with Roundup, then yeah, it did cause some serious effects. But we are yet to see the full outcome of all that. All right. So, genetically modified versus organic. Here's the whole kind of argument again. I'll cover this at length later. GMO farmers, organic farmers. Who do you want to make your food? You decide. And organic versus non-GMO. And what do we got here? So, no GMOs used. They're getting a little more technical because organic is just really hardcore. Non-GMO, you might be like half organic, half not. And then, yeah, corn made by nature, corn made by GMOs. So those are giant super corns that just bust out of the cob like that. That's crazy. And then, but here's organic apples. You want to have a little worm in your apple. Like, that's kind of gross. And then bruising on organic apples. You won't see any of this in a GMO apple. And then the GMO apples are significantly bigger. The GMO-free apple is smaller. All right, and I'll save this for the next time. Peace out.